This photograph was taken as part of my repertorial effort to cover the 1965 Selma to Montgomery Civil Rights March. At that time, I was at college, and I was editor of my college newspaper at the City College of New York. And at this time, we were monitoring what was going on in the South and voting rights, and we could see that John Lewis and many of the people from the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee were having extremely difficult times trying to register people. And finally, they decided to march to Montgomery from Selma, and they got a quarter of a mile outside of Selma at the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and they were beaten senseless by the local police. This then brought in Martin Luther King to come in and decided to have a mass march with many more people. And we had heard about it, we were following it, and we decided to cover that march. I went down with a group of students from City College and proceeded to photograph it as we met the march midway toward Montgomery. I decided to photograph not only the main participants like Martin Luther King, but also many of the people on the sidelines that were watching the march that would be most affected by the march if it was successful in getting voting rights legislation passed. And as we moved in toward Montgomery, the platform was in front of the state capitol, and I proceeded, like many of the other reporters, to photograph Martin Luther King and many of the participants, Joan Baez, Harry Belafonte, and this particular shot came about as I was looking at King from the front, and I turned around and saw the 25,000 people in back, and I said, how do I capture a sense of King giving his speech and the people who were listening to him? To just photograph him was not sufficient at that point. It didn't show his effect on the people themselves. And I quickly realized I had to go to the platform, and I just walked over, walked up the steps, climbed up, walked right behind King in the middle of his speech, stood 3 feet behind him, and proceeded to photograph him. I knew I had no more than 15 seconds or so to accomplish what I needed. I used 3 cameras, photographed it instantly, doing quick estimations of exposure, focus, and knocked off the shots, then walked to the side and took 1 photograph from the platform at the people listening to King, and then I walked off the platform. One day I hope to find a photograph of myself photographing King, but I haven't found that one yet, which I hope to see. But it's a very telling photograph, seeing the people in front of King, listening to him, wrapped with the sense of his words, and easily recognizable. And it is a remarkable, iconic shot that I was very fortunate to have the opportunity